Okay, so now we're going to do our login modal project, just to remind you what that looks like. So this is what it is. Basically, we're going to have a flex row on bigger screens, and then this will be on smaller screens. We're just going to get rid of the image completely because there's really no reason to have it. All right, and yeah, so that's what we're going to be building. Now, you'll notice that I also brought in here a link with some fonts. So I have this Mullish font and some weights, and then I also brought in the Rocket font with 600 and 700. So if you remember, if we want to use these, we can actually add in a config. Let's close that up. A config object here, so we can say tailwind.config, and let's say theme. Set that to an object, and then let's put in our font family object. And for sans, we're going to use the Mullish. So let's say Mullish. And then we just want to add after that sans serif. Okay. And then for mono, let's change that to mono. That's where we're going to use the Rocket. So ROKKITT. And we want to change this to monospace. All right, so now if you look at the font right now and I save this, you'll notice how it changed. Okay, it changed to the Mullish. So let's go ahead and add down here our global container, because again, we're just putting this right in the middle. So we want flex and items dash center and justify center and the height. So the min height will be the screen. And for the background, we're going to use rows 50. All right, so if I say hello, that should be put right in the middle. Good. So in here, we're going to have our, I guess, our card container, main container, whatever you want to call it, container. So this, I'm actually going to make this relative because we're going to be placing the close button. I mean, it's not going to, we're not going to actually make it close, but this button here will be positioned absolute. So we're going to position this relative, and we're going to use flex. So flex and make it a flex column on small screens. And let's see, we'll do margin 6, and let's do space on the y-axis 10, and then the background white. Let's do a shadow of 2XL, and let's do rounded. Oops, yeah, dot rounded. And for rounded, we'll do 2XL as well. And then on medium screens, we want to put this into a flex row. And also on medium screens, we're going to want to take that space on the Y and put that to 0. And then finally on medium screens, we'll take all the margin off completely, so M-0. And if we say hello, can't really see it, but you can. It does have the rounded corners, the shadow, and the background. So we're basically going to have a left side, which will be all the content, input, and all that, and then we'll have the right side, which will be the image, and the image should only show on larger screens. So the left side, I'm just going to put the div in for now, the main div here, which is just padding 6, and on medium screens, a little bit more padding. And we'll get back to that, but on the right side, let's just put the image in now. So it's going to be an images/image. And then as far as classes go, I want to give it a width of 430 pixels. I could add a style tag in here and just do, max width or whatever. Or I could say width dash, and we can use an arbitrary value of 430 pixels. So if I save that, it's going to look like this. Now, I don't want this to show on small screens, so we'll add the class of hidden. That'll get rid of it. And then if we add on medium screens, we want it to display as a block as opposed to display none, which is what hidden does. So if I save that and now I make this bigger, we should see the image. Okay, so let's get back to the left side here. So we want to go within this div, and let's say this is going to be the top content. So we'll have an H2, and we're going to use font-mono, which will use that Rocket font. And let's see, MB margin bottom 5. Let's do text-4XL for the size, and let's make the font bold. Okay, and that's going to say log in. All right, now underneath that, we're going to have a paragraph, and let's do a max width dash small and a margin bottom 12. We're going to use font sans here, and let's say font dash light for the weight. And for the color, we'll do text gray dash 600. And I'm just going to grab the text to throw in there. All right, cool. So let's see. After that, we're going to have our input. So let's go under that paragraph. Let's add our input. And we're going to have some classes on this like width full, because we want it to go all the way across its container. We'll do some padding, P6, border, and let's do border dash gray 300, and rounded medium. And then the placeholder, we're going to make that font sans, and also the placeholder, we're going to make the weight light, so font light. Okay, and then let's add the actual placeholder here, which is going to be enter your email address. Okay, so that's our input. Looks pretty clean. So now we have the middle content, so that's going to go under the input. And I'm just putting these comments here just to, let you know exactly where we're at. So if we look at the final version here, we have this, which is the forgot password and the next, and then we have a border, and then we have the bottom content. So let's do the container for the middle content. So I'm going to use flex. We're going to do flex dash call to begin with, and then items dash center. Let's do justify between. So we're going to take the remaining space and put it between the two elements. And the two elements I'm talking about are the forgot password and the next button. Okay, that's what we're working on right now. So justify between, then we'll do margin top 6 to bring it down. We'll do space on the y-axis 6. And then on medium screens, of course, we want to flex row to push them side by side, and also on medium screens take the space off of the items on the y-axis. Okay, so in here we're going to have our forgot password. That's going to be font dash thin, and we're going to do a text color of cyan 700, and we'll say forgot password. Okay, so that's our forgot password. Now directly under that, we want our next button. So let's say button. This is going to have quite a few classes as well. So, and we're going to have a span in here and just say next. And I'm just going to add my class attribute. And we're going to have an SVG in here as well, which I'll add in a second. But let's add these classes. So just to save this now, that's what it's going to look like. We want to do width full, and we're gonna set the width to auto on medium screens though. So let's say on medium screens we'll do width dash auto, and we'll display it as a flex because it does have the text, and it will have the actually. I'll just paste the SVG in now. Again, you can get this from the code. So next and the SVG, which we're going to look like this. So flex, and then let's do justify dash center and items dash center. And then let's do padding 6. We'll do space on the x-axis 4, say font dash sans. I like how the classes come up here too when I don't use Emmet. Let's do text dash white. Well, some of them don't. Rounded. Let's do rounded medium. And shadow dash large. Let's do PX, so padding on the X. We'll do 9. Background cyan 700. Save it so far. Okay, so that's what it looks like. And we're going to do a shadow. So we'll do a shadow cyan as well. Shadow cyan 100. And let's say on hover, we want to set the BG opacity to 90. And let's also do shadow. What do we want to do here? We'll do shadow small, but on hover, let's do shadow large. Okay, we'll also add a border here. Like I said, a lot of classes. We're going to do transition. And on hover, we're going to move it a little bit. So we want to do a negative translate on the y-axis. So dash y dash 0.5. That will move it up a little bit. And let's make the duration. We'll do duration 150. All right, so let's save that. And now if I hover over it, the opacity, where is it? Hover, BG opacity goes to 90. It translates, negative translate on the y-axis, so it moves up, duration 150. Let's make it bigger. All right, so that doesn't look right. This shouldn't be so wide. Let's see, what did I